Hey there, Knights here, and welcome to the series 14 of Unity Beginner Tutorial series. In this course, what we'll be covering today is that we'll be actually making a value that actually prints into the our on screen, and also making other functions that comes with a engine that's making what's a suitable process that can be used for scaling and other stuffs, which can be used for an alignment tool. By said that, let's dive into it. Hey guys, welcome back. Today what we'll be doing is in here is actually making a value that prints in the screen, but not as a debug lot statement. To achieve those, you can able to see here, you can just go on over to this and create, right click and create a C# script and call this as a print value, whatever you want to name it, and open it up. Alright, I'm going to just delete this up, and now I will close this up right now. So if you look at this, you can able to see that in the header you have a main camera and a directional camera. Just leave both in a moment. Now in here, just right click and create a UI and a canvas panel. That's canvas. Alright, now if you look at this canvas, it actually added a event system. What this event system does is actually counters your event system and actually the input modulus. I will go in the future videos about that. Alright, now click on the canvas panel and create UI and a text. In this text, what it shows, if you double click on this, it's a tilted upside down. Just make it in a forward. Alright, you got it. What you need to do here is that we need to print 2 like that. How will you do that? Let's reset it like this and save this, and let's open this in here. Now I will actually use a to print the text. You will actually use a string. So I will actually use a string value. If you notice that I'm not gonna use either a private or a public, that's because it's not necessary what if you wanted to use in a one script. Alright, so after this, print, this is the name of the script, and also make sure that you make a capital P at the beginning there. Alright, now if you come down there and just create a void start, and just a movement, it will actually include a private in there. Just leave that, but I will explain it in the later on. Alright, let's make it here like I'm going to use a reference to that text. Alright, you need to use a reference. So in order to use reference, you can actually use a public or a private. Now I'm going to use a private, public. Now after this, to access the text, you can actually use a text, but you will have an error saying like that. So how will you going to fix those up? I'm going to use using Unity engine dot UI. Actually both are capital letters there. Alright, if you look at this, it just includes there. Alright, now I will use a text value and change. You can actually use anything in here. Alright, now just go to the private void start and just paste it in the here, and just put equals to sign and put your print value there. Alright, now if you look at this, you will have an error saying that cannot implement to a type string. That's because of you have not access to text. Make sure that you make it a dot text and save it, go back and run it, and you can actually see that it runs. Just change. Also I just forgot to add this. Just go and click your main camera and add the script down here, and actually drag the text to here and run it. Actually you can see that our 2 will appear. Now it won't appear. That's because we have not anchored in the center place. Now if you look at this, you have another issue. Alright, now I will fix it in here. Now if you look at this, I have not added a value 2 for this. If you look at this, if I add 2, it just says some errors. That's because if you just look at this, it cannot convert the int to a string. That's because you have set to a string but not to an int. You need to use this to make it a string, because the string contains inside these 2 brackets. Alright, now go and press the run, and if you can see that it's prints you to a 2 value. Alright, there you go. Now if you look at the if you click the text, and if you look at the text information, you can see that you can actually change the font size to whatever. You can actually import it and change it there, and actually you can increase the font size and actually the line space, which is mean that if you have a more than one single line, what it does, actually it just moves a bit to space it between. Now you can actually align it in the center, and also you can overflow, which is if it's in the not in the correct position, you can actually overflow those in the movement. Now if you look at this, you have a color option, so you can change your color here, and you should have a best fit, which means that it's just fitting in these sides. Now if you look at this, one main problem you can actually arise there. If you zoom inside this, the text is not good, and it's a like a shadow over there. To fix this, you can just click the R key, or just go and click the scale tool, and before doing the scale, you actually want to set this to overflow the 2:1. Now just make the size to about a 250, and now just scale it down. Then now just click the rectangle tool. Now just select it all the thing, and just make sure you do this one. After you did that, you will have a nice cool alignment. If you zoom in, it's looking great, right? Alright, if you now look at this, you have a string that prints up the value. If you look at this, you have a string that actually do something here. Now what if you have a int or float? Now float I will explain in the other videos. Let's copy this again and put it there, and now the int value set it to 2. Alright, now what if I want to do the same stuff? Alright, now just making this to make this. If you look at this, it may ask you some error. That's because of you cannot actually force it to be acting as a string value, because it's an int actually. So what I'm going to do, just put a dot and act it to a change it to a string value. Now you got another error. That's because you have no brackets, the circle bracket around those. Just put dot, and just if you go back over here, just press a the play button, it will do it something. But if you look at this, why I'm gonna use this, but I can use this, but in the making a application, you may want to change it from the string to int, or a int to string. I will make it in a future videos that how can you change the into sting and sting to in. Alright guys, that's pretty much everything for today. Hope you enjoy. Be awesome, keep creating. Nihal Knights EDU signing out.
This video is made possible by my supporters on the Dreadeye. If you want more videos like this, then check out my Dreadeye page, is in the link in the description. To stay up to date on my new releases, make sure you have follow me on my social media.